Welcome back. Yani, for those of you who've started catching us in this series, this is this is the longest city we've ever done. So you need to watch this thing from the very, very beginning. Those who've been watching with us, you know why. And I'll tell you why that is important later. Anyway, a big thank you to Sarova. I always have to these days when I start, not because I'm forced to anything, but I just want to give them props. I want to thank Sarova for just the amazing room that we have to shoot. Because you know the convenience.
No, I can actually feel it.
Yeah.
I can actually feel it.
The convenience, the privacy, they're able to control. And when we're talking about movies, ability to control lights, food, everything, comfortability, I'm just at peace here. And that peace enables me to then enjoy the conversation. Yeah, and focus on that. So Sarova Pan-Afric is where we're shooting, but also Sarova Group, thank you just so much for being our venue partners.
When we do catch-up sessions like years from now, we'll do White Sands, eh?
Bro, Sarova just White Sands, wherever at Sarova Mara, they have 7 different establishments.
Nice.
So in fact, Mombasa na come.
Nice.
But they're very serious. Now I can go to Mombasa and shoot guys very comfortably.
Nice.
Okay, so Fakii, when you were at Ogopa, you got a phone call.
Yes. So we got a phone call from Netherlands, and I can't remember the name of the company, but these guys were doing a documentary on African music. No, actually they said they were doing a film on African music, because initially we thought it was a documentary, but they said they were doing a film on African music. And they wanted to use some music from Ogopa. And they had given a list of songs. So there was Klepto, there was Longombas, and there was Isa that they wanted to grab some songs from.
Probably Nameless. Nameless nothing?
I can't remember if he was there. Maybe they had talked to him directly for that. So we sat down with Lucas and were discussing what kind of figures would give them. Now, of course, at this point, the normal thing is to ask, like, what's it going to be used for, the territories, for how long the license would be, is it in perpetuity, or would they need to keep renewing, you know, such
Explain
things.
to somebody what perpetuity
Okay,
is.
so you can either sign.
So, in fact, let's stop. Yeah, Fakii, you know you're a wealth of knowledge and you think this is normal. So, when somebody asks you that, so when somebody asks you to put their movie in a film, now, for example, yours was going to be an African film.
Yes.
What questions, what already did you start with?
So you ask about, of course, you want to know the context of the film. So you can ask for the synopsis. Like they can give you a one-pager just to explain that this is what we are going to, this is what we are producing. So this is the story and this is where your content fits into the story. So you also find out, like, say, what languages will it be on.
Talked about territories.
Yes. Like worldwide release is more expensive than territorial release. Like if it's only going to be in the US or it's only going to be in Europe, those are different figures. They can either choose to license it for a year or 2 years, or they can decide to sign for good. That's now in perpetuity.
Yes.
So,
and that doesn't necessarily, with perpetuity, doesn't necessarily mean they own the rights to the site. They just own the rights to have it in that song.
Yes, no rights are transferred.
And not to pay you.
Yes.
Okay, hey, just say that thing about rights.
Yeah, no rights are transferred. It's only they have the license to use the content on what they are doing, and then you now agree on a fee.
Okay.
So you can agree on a one-off fee, or you can agree on a fee that you're paid. But also for yourself.
Like Tinga.
Yes.
Tinga, I know Eric Wainaina, when I interviewed him, there's a royalty check that comes into his every 3 months or something.
Yeah.
For the use of the music.
And so it's important to look at such deals and see, do I want to make a one-off right now, or do I want to make, and also will I be able to have the bandwidth to track what they are doing? Because it's important too, because, you know, if the guys in Europe tell you they are going to only use it in Europe, then you find it also goes into other territories that you don't know about, that you will probably never come across. Then, you know.
I get it. What about asking them about, in fact, exactly what I've just asked, them putting it on other platforms and digital? Because I'm sure digital now becomes a new one.
Yes, that becomes a new one.
Okay.
That becomes a new one. Then, of course, them using that music doesn't stop you from giving out the music to be used elsewhere.
So exclusivity.
Yeah. But also, one of the other important things you have to do, which I find a lot of people jumping once you get the money, you need to see that you've been represented well.
Oh.
Because imagine your song is used in some funny kind of movies, you know, and you're associated with that. So you at least need to know that you're being represented well. You can even go to the length of even asking them, like, give me the context that you'll talk about this song. So that in case there's something you've gotten wrong, I can correct you. Because it's also in our interest to make sure that the information that is out there is the correct information.
That is so powerful. It goes back to that thing that you're talking about in football and the last player. It goes back to not just caring about you and your paycheck, but caring about our representation as Kenyan music. Wow.
Yeah. So at that point, we started trying to figure out what to charge them. And then we started talking about film as a business. Now, Lucas has been had studied film when he was in university.
Serious?
Yeah, he studied because it was part of the art thing that he did.
Hence,
and then
videos.
Yes, and because of also that experience, then somehow we found ourselves talking about the Kenyan film industry. And now we started asking ourselves, like, what we see in the Kenyan music industry, and at least what we know, because now we were in it, so we knew a lot. How come we don't see the same in the film industry? Yet in the US, there's the noise you see in the film industry and the noise you see in the music industry. The money in the film industry, the money in the music industry. So here we are seeing the noise in the music industry, but no noise really in the film industry. Then we started doing our research, and at that time, I think we counted like maybe four Kenyan films that we could name like this.
The way I said Nairobi Half-Life.
Exactly. And Nairobi Half-Life was the first one. Then the others that we could name were movies that were being done around that time. There was Supermodo. There was what's the one that was banned? Rafiki. And another
Honorika.
one. Yes, and another one. I can't remember what the fourth one was. Then when we did our research, we realized that just in 2018, and this was the first half of 2018 we're talking about, between, I think, 2016, 2017, 2018, there were like 50 films that had been done in Kenya. And then there were so many other short films that had been done. So we started asking ourselves, how come we don't know about these things? But when you talk to film people, they know about them. So I don't know why, but we got sucked into it. So we started trying to figure out what is it that we think is missing here. So we came up with 4 things.
Yo, this is crazy.
So we came up with 4 things, and I have to give a disclaimer. This was just our thinking. It doesn't mean it's the gospel. It doesn't mean that these are the correct answers to what. Yeah. So for us, we came up with 4 things. Number 1, story. Story in that, and in 2019, we were actually vindicated on that story angle, because we felt like our stories were not strong enough, they were not captivating enough. And I'll tell you later about someone who came from outside, and his words were, okay, let me not say the exact words, but basically what he was saying is, your stories are bland. Yeah. Number 2, production cost. And as usual, I'll tell you why this production point is very important. Of course, production costs being high, there's a limit as to how much you can do.
Yeah.
Number 3 was marketing. And number 4 was distribution. So we felt like these 4 factors were the ones that were missing in the film industry.
I get it.
Then what we did was, and I think I took it further. So this is how I used to have these conversations about film. That same day when I spoke to Lucas about it, and I remember I was at the Ogopa studios. When I went home, I spoke to my wife about it. So we just started talking. So then I'd go back to the studio, we talk. I go back home, we talk. Now, as I was just talking to them, I found myself more drawn in. So me, I went in further.
Yeah.
Then I told both of them, see, we do it.
Yeah.
Yani, I had no idea what I was getting into. Me, I was just like, see, we do it. Now, backtrack to 2017, when I made a decision that I would leave Coca-Cola to go into my own thing. One day, I met Kevin Mulei.